What's up guys, John Bird III here. We're back again for another video, and in today's video I told y'all a few weeks we got a treat, so we're going to jump into my dream boat. I'm going to give you a full tour of my brand new Skeeter ZX200 powered by Yamaha 200 SHO. And I'm just pretty much going to walk you through it. One thing I will say, I haven't seen a lot of videos on the Skeeter ZX200s, especially when I was looking in the market to buy a new boat. This is my first boat, and I kind of talked to you guys about why I switched to Skeeter as we go through the video. But I just wanted you all to be able to see my dream boat, why I say I'm living the dream, and kind of give you some details behind the scenes as to some of the stuff I say and why I say it. But we're gonna give you a full walkthrough of the Skeeter ZX200. So let's jump into it. All right guys, to start off, we're gonna talk about the graphs that I have on this boat. So I currently have a Garmin 106XV for live scope. I'm running a live scope plus. And then for mapping, I have, this boat came standard with a Helix 7, but I will be changing my Helix 7 out for a totally different graph. And once I do that, so y'all just gonna have to stay tuned to see what I change out both of my Helix 7 units for. But I love the Garmin 106 SV. I had this on my previous boat, so I just changed it over, and I actually got it on a precision sonar mount. So it's a stack mount, so you're actually able to stack two graphs on there. It's super sturdy. I mean, a lot of guys talk about in their videos, they talk about, oh man, this thing doesn't move and it's rock solid. I mean, it shouldn't move once you mount it in place properly. So I'm like, duh. But anyway, but I love this mount. I love the guys at Precision Sonar, Ryan Kirkpatrick. I mean, if you ever need anything, make sure you reach out to him. As far as my trolling motor goes, I have a Minn Kota Otrex, and this is the 80-pound thrust truck Otrex. And so I had an 80-pound thrust Fortrex on my previous boat, and so now I'm running an 80-pound thrust Otrex. It's easier to operate the Otrex compared to the Fortrex because my Fortrex pedal was a little tight. And so this pedal on this trolling motor right here is super duper light. And so I like it. The only benefit I see to having an Otrex versus a Fortrex is the spot lock. And I don't use spot lock a whole lot, but I have been using it a lot lately just to kind of get used to it. And I think it's pretty cool. And so we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the center storage box. So as you can see, it's actually pretty big. Like, it is super duper wide. And sometimes these videos, it's really hard to tell until you actually see the boat in person, but it's super duper wide. And so these boats come stock with, like, I think it's 15 boxes. I want to say 13 or 15 plain old boxes, just the regular clear, not the waterproof seal boxes. But I took those all out, and I pretty much used all the boxes that I had in there. And so just to kind of give you a brief rundown on what all I have in there. So I have my Hybrid Hunter box. This is my little terminal box. It's not a big box because I pretty much keep my terminal very slimline. So you can kind of see all the different stuff that I have in there. Then jerkbait box, I got frogs, jigs, and then that jig box is actually a mixture of flipping jigs, football jigs, and bladed jigs. So I have a mixture of all that. I lay my net down up in there. And then I got my top water box, mid-diving crankbait. So basically from a Gravel Dog 8 to a 6XD, that's pretty much all in that box. And then my other box up front is basically traps, 1.5 flats, 1.5 chick magnets, any shallow water crankbaits. And up here, it's just a bunch of trailers. So essentially in that box right there, it's a bunch of just like white rage bugs that I like to throw on the back of a white bladed jig like Thunder Cricket. And also I have a couple different like little swim baits and stuff, because I'm trying to get into this little minnow pinging type deal. Don't like that, but I mean, I gotta try it. So can't gripe about all this stuff all the time. Sometimes you just gotta get out there and do it. So that's pretty much what I got there. Got my bubble scale, and then these Busby quick cubes. I keep all my soft plastics in here. So this box, well, this bag in particular that's my creature bait one. And then right here I have all my worms and stuff like that. And then I have a freaking giant bag of rage bugs. Y'all know I like to flip, so, and that's one of my go-to trailers for bladed jig also. So got that. This compartment over here, not really a whole lot. life jackets, light, and then you see that little white wire hanging down right there. That's part of my C-Clear harness, but I gotta mount that a little bit better, but for right now it's fine. And then right there, got the black box for the Garmin. So that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy in there. Right here, freaking rod compartment, massive. And so up front, it came with the individual tubes, but I actually took that out because some of those tubes, at the end of the tubes, they got very, very narrow. And so when I took the tubes out, it actually allowed me to get more rods in there. But it has this little butt section right there where you can pretty much just stack all your rods on top of your little ladder little deal. But I'm probably gonna take that out. That way it'll allow my rods to sit lower down into the rod compartment, and I can actually keep a bunch more rods in there. I really don't need much more, but I mean, hey, that's just kind of how I got it laid out, but I'm probably gonna take that out eventually. So right here, so this is like a little day compartment too, co-angler compartment, but I'm actually adding a dual console. So I'm waiting on Skeeter to send that to Marshall's Marine, where I actually picked up my boat from. And so once that comes in, I basically lose this compartment and all of that, which is fine. I mean, it's fine for me. And so originally, the only reason I'm getting a dual console, because my last boat had a dual console, but in particular, like my wife, she don't like all the air hitting her. And then I've been in boats that don't have a dual console, and having all that air hitting you in the face, it's kind of like, it's just a lot. So I try to look out for all my co-anglers. So in there, this is actually the day box. So I keep a lot of stuff that I'm going to be using on hand. So today I use a bunch of caffeine shads, the mock schoolers, and a bunch of different other stuff. So that's there. Right here at, I guess you could call it the cockpit. So, and don't mind that, that's bird poop. But anyway, Helix 7, that's what I got there. Again, I'm changing out both of Helix 7, so I'm putting different units up there. Comment down below on what units you think I'm going to put right there, but I'm definitely taking these Helix 7s off. They're actually decent graphs, they're not too bad. People think when you get a 7, it's going to be super duper small, but it's really not that bad. So, but I like it. So, trim switch, you know what that does, lift your motor up and down. And then one thing I do like about this boat, because a lot of the new boats are going to the digital panels, I like the rocker switches. It's super sleek, old school. If your panel goes out in some of these newer boats, you're dead in the water. When one of these switches go out, you pop a new switch in, bam, you're done. So that's pretty much it there. So you got all the seating and stuff right here. And then in this center compartment, I got a cooler. So the cooler's super deep, holds a lot of ice and stuff like that, and it definitely keeps your drinks cold. And then don't ask me why I got that cooler right there. It was just, I wanted to cool my drinks off the night before, so I just put them all in the cooler and put some ice in there. But either way, you can use this one or you can bring your own, but sometimes I mix it up. I'm not opening up the live wells. I mean, they're live wells. They're super deep. This boat right here, the back compartments are massive. So got my workbook bag, because I'm literally just getting off the water. I'm about to go to work. But I was on the water for work, so, but I keep a bunch of just knickknacks in there. Not really a whole lot. I'll show you this other side. It's not really a lot in there as well. Just life jackets, that PSA bag right there, but it's really a trash bag, so that's what I got in there. And also back here, pretty much the business area. So we got the bilge area back here. So I have one Group 31 AGM interstate battery. That's just my cranking battery. And then y'all can see this, I actually have, well, y'all probably can't see it too well, but I actually have 3 tracker lithiums. Those are both Group 31s, I think that's what they is, and they're 80 amp hours. I have 3 12-volt batteries, 2 batteries for my trolling motor, and then I have 1 dedicated battery just for all my electronics. So all 3 of my graphs that I have on my boat are ran off of 1 battery. And then way back under the back, you can't see it because you got to take the screws out to get to them, but have my power pole pumps back there as well. And the power of this thing, got the Yamaha VMAX Show. And then I got 2 8-foot blades power poles. So, and I actually transferred my power poles from my previous boat to this boat. That's pretty much it. That is the walkthrough of my brand new 2023. It's a 2023, but it's the last one they had. So brand new 2023 Skeeter ZX200. Like I said, I really love this boat. Super, super clean, sleek, very it's very much what I needed, just to be completely honest. So I will give y'all a quick rundown as to what I came from and why I made the jump. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a quick rundown as to what I came from. So originally I came from a Ranger RT198P, and it was powered by a Mercury 150. That boat was a great boat. It was a great starter boat. I had that boat I got it in 2021, so I had the boat 3 years. I got very comfortable with it. The reason why I originally bought that boat was because I like to fish super duper shallow like John Cox. Live scope was really just starting to pop, but I didn't have live scope on there. I had 2 Lowrance Elite TI9s on there, and I just like going down the bank. So that's why I originally had the aluminum Ranger, because as you already know, like my game, I love to fish shallow. So I was like, aluminum boat, I said, I keep it outside, and not only that, I like to fish shallow, and that's pretty much it. So I'm like, all right, this is the boat I need. And then like if I know like there's going to be very, very durable, and not that I do anything crazy, because I don't be doing none of the stuff John Cox does, like he go and jump beaver dams and like keep crocheting all of them. I don't do none of that. I didn't do none of that, but I just like to get as shallow as I can also. But I realized as I wanted to grow into my fishing and I wanted to be a better angler, so I started getting offshore. And when the wind gets up to a certain miles per hour, I'll say like 8-9 miles per hour plus, that boat does get blown around a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. And that, upon adding in, like then at that point I added live scope on my boat, so I was offshore even more. And for me, I got into some big water at times, and to me, I felt like, I ain't gonna lie, I got a little scared a little bit. So it was just like, man. And then I did have a few issues, but aside from that, like it was a great all-around boat. But I was just like, after running it for 3 years, I fished a bunch of tournaments out of it, got really comfortable with it. The fastest I got out of that boat was, at one time I had it up to 55, but it averaged, to be honest, I averaged 50 to 51 miles per hour. And so I was like, earlier this year, I was like, all right, I think it's time to jump into a glass boat, a boat not only that I will feel more comfortable in, and then as me and my wife are in the process of growing our family and stuff like that, I wanted a boat that I can also feel a little bit more comfortable in. If I took my wife out and if it got big, I won't have to worry. If the waves got big, I won't really feel uncomfortable and feel like I'm putting her in danger. So I did a lot of research. like a lot. And one thing at my house in my man cave, y'all probably see there, I have like different boat magazines on the wall. And one particular magazine behind my TV, I don't know if y'all ever paid attention to it, it was actually a Skeeter ZX200. And those magazines are from when me and my wife first moved into the house back in 2018. And it was literally this model, and it was almost the exact same color pattern as this boat. So you're talking 6 years ago that I had a picture of a Skeeter ZX200, and I had a Nitro up there, Ranger, and stuff like that. I had a bunch of different boats on my wall, and I still got those magazines on my wall, but this was the actual boat that I had on my wall. And it's kind of funny because 6 years later, now I'm in the exact same boat that I had on my wall, same color and everything. And my Ranger 198P was actually a boat that I had on my wall as well. And so I'm actually glad, and I'm really grateful that I was able to jump into the Skeeter ZX200. You hear me say at the end of my videos, I'm JB3, I got to get back to living the dream. And what living the dream for me is being able to not only grow and become the man that God created me to be, but also be able to use everything that I have as a platform to share Christ. I mean, point blank period, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. And that to me says a whole lot. And living the dream to me, I get to do what I love to do, which is fish. So I don't fish for a living per se. So I'm not like a guide or anything, but I get to work my dream job. I get to come out, shoot content, do a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you guys will see coming from Losing Strike King and Monk Nation. And then not only that, I run youth tournaments. And then it's just a whole bunch of different stuff. And then I get to talk to you guys about rods and reels. So living the dream for me is bigger than the truck, the boat, working my dream job. Is just showing how, not only how Christ has blessed me, and I would still be doing the same thing whether he allowed me to get this or not. Like, I'm not going to change, because like I said, Christ has done so much for me that I couldn't do nothing to repay him. So that's a little bit of what living the dream is, and the dream is still unfolding. There's a lot of goals that I have in place that I prayed about, and that me and my wife are working towards. So you might see some of that stuff. Some of the stuff I like to keep a little personal, but this is one thing I definitely wanted to show you guys, because some of you guys probably may have picked up from being on the water in some of my other videos that it's a totally different boat. So jumped into a Skeeter. Like I said, Skeeter ZX200. This thing will top out. I've had it up to 67 by myself. And then with 2 people, full tournament load, full tank of gas, I'm averaging like 64 and a half. And going from 50 to 64, you might not think that that's a lot, but that is a lot of power coming from that 200 Yamaha. So going from a 150 Mercury to a 200 Yamaha is definitely a big jump. And I remember when I was breaking in the motor, I finally was able to open it wide up, and I trimmed her up, and I was blown away. This boat handles really well. It doesn't walk like that, and for you guys who wondering like how well does it walk, or if it walks at all, it doesn't walk like that. And so it pretty much kind of drives itself on its own, and you don't really have to do a whole lot of counteracting, doing like those quarter turns and stuff like that. It actually does pretty well. So that's the boat walkthrough. So here is my dream boat, Skeeter ZX200. Like I said, I love this boat. Big shout out to Marshall Marines. My salesman, the guy I work with named Jonathan, super down to earth. Everybody down there, they're like a big family. So if you're in the market for a new Skeeter, definitely go check out Marshall's Marine. They're, like I said, easy to work with, very down to earth people. They're not going to give you the runaround, and they're going to do their best to try to get you the best rate and get you in the boat that you're looking for. They have Skeeters, they have Avids, Falcons, Express, and a bunch of other ones as well. So, like I said, that's my boat. I'm JB3. I got to get back to living the dream, and I got to get back to work. I'll catch you later.